Hey there, tech entrepreneurs. Phil Smy here, and today we're going to talk about the money, and how I want you to stop thinking about investors and start thinking about customers. It's kind of weird to me that one of the first things that young tech entrepreneurs or beginning tech entrepreneurs talk about, at least to me, is how can they get investment? Where are they going to find the money? Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Never have I sat down and the first thing I thought about was money. And I'll tell you why. Or investors. And I'll tell you why. Nothing that ever worked, let me put it that way. Because you should be thinking about the other way around. The best way to get money into your company is by getting customers to pay it to you. As a tech entrepreneur, as somebody who's founding a startup, the last thing you want to do is say, okay, I've got this great idea. Who's going to give me a bunch of money so I can run with it? Because, you know, those people, they're coming in at a time when your company is, let's face it, worthless. It's an idea. Ideas are kind of a dime a dozen because implementation is where it's at. So you have this idea. Great. Maybe it's worth a lot of money. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. So you want to come to me and you say, hey, Phil, please give me some money so I can do this. And I'm like, okay, but maybe it's just a complete waste of money. So give me half your company and I'll give you a little bit of money. And you say, well, you know, my company is worth more than that. And I said, no, it's not. It's not worth anything. You're not making any money. So that's why, as a tech entrepreneur, you should be focusing on getting customers. Get customers in. Build something, get it out there, get some customers in, even if you have 10 customers. If you can prove with 10 customers you're making some money, man, if you can make money with just 10 customers, then investors are going to be all over you, assuming that there's a market for more than 10 customers. But, you know, don't think about how this money can do, what are you going to spend the money on, you know? Stop thinking about investors. Okay, I give you $1 million. You want $1 million? Here you are. What are you going to do with it? The funny thing is, a lot of entrepreneurs at that point cannot continue the conversation. They actually don't know what they're going to spend the money on. They say we're going to hire people. What do you need to hire people for? You know, to develop. Well, what are you developing for? All of it is about the customer, guys, folks, kids, peeps, whatever. It's all about the customer. So get, you know, something out there. Get some customers. Maybe the thing you're going to produce right away is going to be crap. Even better, if you can produce something that's crap and you get 10 customers and you make money, imagine if you got some money in, you get some developers, get some user interface guys in, make it even better, build that. Because really, where you're going to spend the money, I said it before, marketing. And there's no point in marketing something that doesn't work, can't scale. And you figure that out by starting small. You know, there are some exceptions. Sorry, there are some exceptions to this. Some sectors require more startup capital. I would suggest avoiding those sectors, but you know, just in case, things like biotech. Often biotech, of course, you need to have a very long run-up time, and often there's a lot of testing and product testing and depending on what it is you're doing, you may need to go through a lot of testing. And testing without the ability to get money in, of course, that's expensive unless you're all, you know, kind of working for free or whatever. And also, biotech tends to be a very big thing, and unless you have specialized knowledge, you're probably not going to do it. So, I mean, there are some people, for instance, there's these guys in Canada, brothers, I think, they're doctors, and they created this thing, and they did it, you know, it was a way of testing blood without non-invasive blood test or something like this, but they did that themselves, you know, so they developed a product, and then to go through the testing was quite expensive, so then they got some investment in to go through the testing. But biotech is expensive. Space tech, I mean, come on, forget about space tech, okay? You know, if you want to do space technology, go to a university that has an offshoot that does space tech. That's all I can say. fintech. There's this perception that the world of finance is open to disruption and that little guy can come in and change things. That is kind of like a fairy tale. There's so many barriers to fintech that have been put in there by the big companies. If you want to do fintech, go into a big company that has a kind of in-house entrepreneurship program. Fintech is tough. There's usually a lot of barriers to entry there, financial barriers to entry to get into the market. And then there's, I'll cut this part out. And then you have things that require a lot of stock or, physical goods, and the physical goods are expensive. Be very careful about businesses like that because you could be left holding the bag. I started this DVD rental company many years ago, pre-streaming days. And, of course, to rent DVDs, you have to have DVDs. So you have a large capital investment. But even then, I bootstrapped it, by saying, okay, first we're going to offer only these kinds of niche films and this and that, so you have to, it was still expensive, and you were left holding the bag of a lot of DVDs, but it was a capital investment that was required, and still I didn't go for investors, Investors should be the last resort. You should be milking every penny you've got, every thing that you can get for free, every hour that you can put in that you don't get paid. All of that stuff should be going in, because otherwise your company, I'm sorry to say, and I said it earlier, your company is worthless. If you don't have customers, no one cares. Sorry. Anyway, that's it. So, stop thinking about investors. Start thinking about customers. Do everything possible to get some customers in the door and paying you. Then come to the people for investment. And they will love you and they will give you more money and ask for less of your company. See you soon.